Kurpaska, Death and Taxes. Kurpaska barely making it into the top 8, having to defeat Shiho Yim and X1-1, having to have Breakers break his way. They did, so he ends up your 6th seed. He wins his matches very, very quickly, and now he's against Fabiano, the player with Pro Tour success, with a Grand Prix championship, commentates on the side, and now he's sitting in the finals of a Legacy Open with a Blue Light Red Delver Blade deck that went X0-1 in the hands of Eric Smith in the Invitational, and Fabiano has not lost a match yet.
Mother of Runes versus the Delver of Secrets, two very powerful one-casts for these two players. There were 526 other players that wish they could be sitting here. Just Gerard and John now. Let's see what happens.
All right, Delver of Secrets. Is it time to check, or is it maybe a brainstorm to make sure that it's 100%? It's going to be a brainstorm with a Delver trigger on this deck. So next Sectile Aberration will be showing up to the party here, unless something goes horribly awry for Fabiano.
It would have to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Do you know the secret, little Delver? I bet you do.
All right, on top those cards go. Fabiano draws his card, shows a Brainstorm, does not want to show a Daze, which he does have in his hand, or he may have potentially put back, but Flip is good, has the Daze in the grip. Gonna play a Volcanic Island, get that Mother of Runes
there you
out
go.
of here. Insectile Aberration in, and it looks like it's gonna be time to pass the turn back.
A really important play on turn 2 there. Mother of Runes still summoning sick. Getting that off the table turns down a lot of John Kurpaska's power in this Death and Taxes. Again and again, we've seen Mother of Runes really work over players who are trying to run removal, and Gerard not having any of it.
So there's the Swords of Plowshares. You see Kurpaska is going to play a Wasteland first so that it cannot get dazed. A smart play there. Then he can activate the Wasteland afterward if he'd like to. So how about a Daze number 1, says Fabiano. You want to pay? Fine. How about a Daze number 2? Fabiano making a loud declaration, I need this Delver!
This Delver ended up making a double land go back to hand. No land in play right now. Sets him back in his development, but you know what? This deck does not need to function on much lands. Sure, it has Geist of St. Traft. Sure, it has Vendilion Click, but generally, this is still a Delver deck. 1 mana, 2 mana, that's a lot for this deck to go on, and it can do it just fine.
Let's protect this house. That's what Fabiano's saying. I need this Insectile Aberration to beat you, John, so please do just leave it alone. John going to play another land. It's a Karakas.
One of the 4, count them, 4 Karakas in John's deck.
Now here's a Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Fabiano gonna Brainstorm in response. That's
while he can get
fine.
it cheap. It's gonna be double in price very soon.
So 1, 2, and 3. It looks like 3 lands are what Gerard drew there. It looks like actual 3 fetch lands. So you see a Volcanic Island and a land put back very, very quickly for Gerard. Not the best brainstorm we've ever seen.
Well, it's better, I guess, than having to draw through them right now. He does have a few fetches in there to shuffle away one of those cards.
You saw how Kurpaska tapped this turn as well? He could have played Thalia with a Karakas and a Plains and then Wastelanded Fabiano, but he chose to leave Karakas up so that if Fabiano maybe tries to Lightning Bolt the Thalia, he can pick it up. So is that going to end up biting him? That's kind of interesting, because as we know, Fabiano has a lot of lands in his hand. Kurpaska doesn't know that, so he could have Wastelanded him, but he chose not to. He says he wants to keep his lands, maybe because he has some of the 3 drops in his hand. Maybe he has a Mirran Crusader or a Mangara of Corondor.
The Sarah Avenger are 4 copies in his deck. He could put somebody in the way as well.
Yep. I think that's a trade he's more than happy to make at this point.
Look at that, a very dramatic Mangara. Very, very dramatic. Does that one work?
I think it's getting late for them too. As here comes the Thalia, Guardian of Thraben in for 2, gonna knock Fabiano down to 18.
Fetch at the end of the turn. Gerard knows that card on top, he does not want yet another land to have to be just making his hand look pretty much like the mana-flooded guy that he is.
Yeah, you see Mangara here, it's going to come down, and the Karakas is already there, so the quote combo is in order. It's a very slow combo that this deck can put in place, but it can grind out some resources, and one activation is actually pretty good here. So in for 3 comes the Insectile Aberration, going to knock Kurpaska down to 8.
Gerard draws a land.
Okay. It's a Wasteland to take care of that Karakas, which is a big deal, but he doesn't have anything else to follow up with. No Swords of Plowshares, no Lightning Bolt. No real action here for Fabiano outside of that Delver Secret still.
Now, John Kurpaska now has an active Mangara. That Mangara can easily turn its attention to that Insectile Aberration. And a question for Karakas in John Kurpaska's deck. Does he have... Oh my gosh. He doesn't have another Karakas he's putting down. He does have a second Wasteland. I think we're going to see some real work done here on the mana that Gerard Fabiano has carefully put together. Maybe that Flood won't be so bad after all, but the Mangara will clear away the Delver should Kurpaska want to.
In for 2 comes the Thalia. Fabiano shrugs and says, yeah, I gotta take it. Mangara takes down the Insectile Aberration, and Gerard Fabiano is currently permanentless.
Yep, you can't speak, Gerard. Get a land in play. Show us you can come back from all of this. That Thalia means that a ton of the 1 casting cost spells in Gerard's deck will not be playable. He could lay a land and a Grim Lavamancer should he draw one, a land and a Delver of Secrets if he draws that, but that's it if he were to be lucky enough to have 1 casting cost creature.
So Kurpaska plays a Mother of Runes after combat, after the Mangara activation. Fabiano just plays a Scalding Tarn and passes the turn back. A lot of people wondering how Death and Taxes got here. This is exactly what this deck wants to be doing. Limit your resources, make things difficult on you, make it so that they have few resources, and then when they actually do find the cards they need to cast, they don't have enough mana to actually cast them.
Oh, look at this. A little late to the party, a Lightning Bolt, and Mother of Runes.
Yep.
She's awake. She's standing at the door. No, 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 you don't get to come in now. Oh boy.
Protecting Thalia will be the Mother. Of course, you're never going to see Mother Runes get in the red zone. It is just there to provide protection from removal spells. Fabiano's going to draw, it looks like he Swords of Plowshares now as well. That's not going to help very much either against that Mother of Runes.
Gerard right now might be hoping to do something like run into a Geist of Saint Traft, a Grim Lavamancer, or even if he got really lucky, let's say a pair of Lightning Bolts off the top.
Yep.
Maybe he can just burn John Kurpaska all the way down to 0.
Stifle the draw here for Fabiano, and yeah, he is flooding out quite a bit, but for him, it allows him to actually cast a spell, so that's not the worst thing in the world, as Kurpaska is not drawing any lands. He's just riding, or at least trying to ride Thalia to victory. We saw this in his match against Shiho Yim, where he had no lands, but he had 2 vials, and that was more than enough to get the job done.
Gerard Fabiano currently ahead in life, but that's not going to last. That Thalia 2 power, that's enough to get it done.
Hey, Thalia, those 2 fetch lands. Fabiano looks like he's going to take 2 more damage here. Again, he's sitting with the Swords of Plowshares and a Lightning Bolt. Both those are going to cost 2 mana, and he does have 4 mana, so he can't cast them both. He can actually order them both in such a way that he can get Mother of Runes off the table, or Thalia if he deems that one to be the more important of the 2, but he needs to find something to do here.
You can see Gerard fetching with both of his lands, and he verbally confirmed with his opponent. Yeah, is it okay if I just shortcut this?
Yeah.
Sure, says John, go right ahead.
So Volcanic Island and Tundra is what Fabiano's going to search out.
One of the things I really like about this list, from what Matthias had mentioned earlier in the day, this list had done incredibly well in the Legacy portion of the Invitational. And Gerard here, I've just been seeing him have both the aggressive start of that Delver draw, and then when things go awry, a Stoneforge Mystic draw. A really cool combination in one deck.
5, 6. So we got 7 cards over there for Kurpaska. Doesn't look like he can cast any of them. He doesn't have a vial. He doesn't have a second land. He's hanging in there, barely.
I kind of am curious just how many spells he has in his hand that cost 1 that he can't cast. Is his hand Aether Vial Swords? And he's just stuck on the 1 land?
Yeah, that would be humorous if that was the case. You see Fabiano, again, he's got the Lightning Bolt and he's got the Sword, so he's figuring out how to order these spells, which one is going to work the best, and additionally, what to target with these. So he's going to go towards Thalia.
Mom says no, no, no.
And stifle that. Like that play there by Gerard. So stifle the Mother of Runes trigger. So a good use of stifle. Gerard quickly going to untap. Now his spells are actually back to costing a relevant amount of mana. Fabiano draws a Wasteland. Unfortunately for him, it's a basic Plains that's in play. And yeah, you got to Swords that. Get that Mother out of here.
That was excellent work by Fabiano. The stifle, making sure the Mother of Runes ability does not work. Now Kurpaska draws. He gets that second land. Will there be a Sarah Avenger?
Yeah, you gotta believe he's got all of 2 mana spells in his hand. So which one is he gonna start off with?
Look at John. He looks so happy right now. He's like, I'm chewing my gum. I got all kinds of spells in my hand. My opponent's basically empty.
Yeah, it's about time. It's about time I found something to do. How about...
Could be a Stoneforge Mystic, could be a Sarah Avenger,
Yeah,
could be a lot of things.
Yeah, it could be Revoker.
He's going to the 1. Maybe it's going to be an Aether Vial.
Yeah, actually, it could be. This is kind of interesting.
I mean, he was hanging on to 1 mana, a Thalia in play, and a whole huge grip. There's an Aether Vial.
Wow, it is an Aether Vial. And I think Fabiano has a Spell Pierce in his hand, and he does.
Oh.
So he's going to counter that spell.
Wow, is there a door open?
That's one of the few things that Gerard could actually counter with that Spell Pierce. Let's see if he finds a card like a Geist of Saint Trap or a Stoneforge Mystic.
Brainstorm, Ponder, something. What do we got?
Delver's Secrets, not bad. Not bad.
Will we see a Swords? John is thinking about it. He's thinking about something here at the end of the turn. Not too many 1-mana instants. I only see Swords. Swords to Plowshares, a possible option for him. He might not have it in his hand, but he's at least bluffing a Swords, if not thinking about it.
See, Fabiano, taking a look at Flagstones of Trocaire, some people wondering a little bit earlier, why is Kurpaska playing that card instead of just Basic Plains? Well, it's exactly for that, so it can't be Wastelanded. Of course, Basic Plains can't be Wastelanded either, but he's going to shoot down that Flagstones. What ends up happening here is the Plains is going to come into play tapped, so it's going to leave John with just 1 mana for his turn unless he does draw another one. A very nice play there from Fabiano, so maybe, Adrian, Basic Plains may just be better.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Kurpaska is thinking to himself, you know, the thing I like about the Flagstones is I get to have a Cataclysm happen and have a Plains come out after the Cataclysm.
Yep.
But you know what? Basic lands have this really awesome thing called Resilience. You can't really mess with them.
No strip mines in this format. As Kurpaska draws a card, doesn't look like it was a land. Again, he's got a 22 land back. Fabiano reveals a Stifle.
Oh,
Flip Delver.
Sickness. In for 3. Very calmly passes the turn back.
Fabiano, okay, Horizon Canopy off the top. Fabiano might be able to steal this game off the back of a Delver's Secrets, maybe even running Lightning Bolts, who knows. He's hanging on by a thread here.
Now remember, John Kurpaska almost spent 2 mana a few turns ago. It would have been probably this card,
Yep.
Sarah Avenger. I bet he's kicking himself now that he didn't do it.
Yeah. So now the Avenger is in play, and now Fabiano needs a relevant draw. He's going to draw a card for the turn. Let's see what he finds. It looks like a blue card. It's a Ponder.
Ooh, that's a lot of cards.
It's a good start. It's going to resolve. 2 and 3.
Lightning Bolts, Swords.
It's a Plowshare. I think it's a Batter Skull, too. Jeez.
Really, a Batter Skull. With the way that he's been drawing mana, he can actually just cast it.
He needs 1 more land, but there's a land among those 3.
That's exactly what I'm talking about right there.
This game's insane.
Swords to Plowshares absolutely can remove that Sarah Avenger, but in a certain kind of way, the 3 damage that he would have done is negated by the life gain from the Swords to Plowshares, and he knows that Kurpaska has a mitt full of cards. Look at that. He asks, how many you got? 6.
It's interesting, right, where Fabiano can keep this Ponder, draw the Swords, and then offer the trade with the Delver for the Sarah Avenger. So what he can do is he can say, all right, I'll take the Swords, keep with the Ponder, put the Swords in my hand, attack with Delver Secrets. Do you want to trade here with the Sarah Avenger? Because I think Gerard actually wants a trade with the Sarah Avenger so he can actually get to the Batter Skull. But
he's
instead,
going aggro.
He's going to go aggro. So he's going to go Delver, get in there. John, you gain 3, you take 3, you stay at 6, go.
John draws a card up to 7 now, full hand. 3 mana. Are we going to see another Mangara?
He goes down to 5 if he uses that Horizon Canopy.
Ooh,
You take a damage no matter what.
Thinks again. Maybe he's going to do another Sarah Avenger. Maybe he'll do a Stoneforge Mystic.
Again, Fabiano's going to have Batter Skull in 2 turns. 2 turns. And don't forget, for Fabiano, he's got a Stifle in his hand as well.
Exactly. That Stifle. If a Mystic comes down, a Stifle would take care of the searching ability that's triggered, should Fabiano want to do that. Doesn't seem unreasonable.
I can't imagine at this juncture he's going to sacrifice that Horizon Canopy, but he could use it for mana. Again, if we do see a Mangara, he's going to have to take 1 and go to 5. It'll be evened up. Delver put him down to 2, and then Mangara will be an answer, or will it stifle you very much?
The other thing John might be thinking about here, he knows if he lays a Mangara, that insect will fly over. He knows Gerard put 2 cards on top he knows that Gerard wants those cards there. What if one's a Bolt? Maybe he's wondering if the thing to do is not to cast a Mangara, but instead, if he has a Swords to Plowshares in there, just get rid of that Delver now. Yeah. Gerard's so close to death. I'm sure that John is thinking, God, it almost got him here.
Yeah, you know, it seems like ages ago that Fabiano was being beaten down by that Thalia. So now, Kurpaska...
Sarah Avenger, maybe? Oh, so many options. He's got
I don't
so
know.
many things to think about.
I have no idea. Is he going to sacrifice Horizon Canopy? He is?
Wow. What do we got? More info. I want to know what I could also have to choose from besides these 7 or 8 cards.
I think
10
Gerard's
cards, whatever it is.
I think he's got to be stifling this. Yeah, and he is. He's going to stifle the Horizon Canopy draw. Quickly untap. He's going to draw his card in for 3.
Oh, boy.
Kurpaska goes down to 3, and we know that Fabiano set it up so that he draws a land now. He draws the Batterskull next turn. He's going to play the Tundra and pass the turn back. Kurpaska draws his card. It's a Mirran Crusader. It's not going to do it. And Gerard Fabiano wins game number 1. Are you kidding me?
Wow. That's some amazing amazingness there. Gerard Fabiano playing very patiently, marshaling all of his cards. He was empty-handed at the end of that game when John Kurpaska packed it in. I think John is going to look back at that one moment, that Aether Vial, that Gerard Fabiano, one of his 2 Spell Pierces, one of the only cards he could target. John is going to look back at that as the crux of the game.
Wow, we're going to bring it back to the booth because we have to ask our question.
That was amazing.
That game was insane. I can't believe Gerard just won that game. Oh my God. Cedric Phillips, Adrian Sullivan, it's trivia time.
That's right.
Going to ask you guys a question. 12 months of trivia normally on the line. 12 months of premium normally on the line, excuse me. But instead, a copy of Next Level Deck Building by Patrick Chapin. His brand new ebook is what we'll be giving away this go around. Make sure on Twitter, hashtag your answer with the hashtag of SCG Premium. And your question is for Jonathan Kurpaska. He has a 2 of card in his sideboard. It's an Exodus rare. It happens to work out pretty well in his deck. Works well with the Flagstones of Trocaire. And a creature. Let's pick a creature. Let's say Stoneforge Mystic.
Sounds good to me.
Let's pick an artifact. Let's say Aether Vial.
Sure.
Let's pick an enchantment. Let's say Oblivion Ring.
Sounds good.
All right. So if you can name that card, a 2 of in Kurpaska's sideboard that happens to work out quite well with maybe an artifact, an enchantment, a creature, and a land. Hashtag your answer. SCG Premium. Again, about accuracy, not speed. So we will name the winner after the finals is over, and the winner gets a brand new edition of Next Level Deck Building by Patrick Chapin, his brand new ebook, over 500 pages of Magic deck building strategy.
Now, if you are a deck builder, you should have it. If you're just serious about tournament Magic, you should have it. Yep. You know what? I've been reading it all this weekend. I was just given it right before the event. It's a page turner, so make sure you get your copy of the Innovator's new book. Now, of course, one winner, but we've got to figure out who's going to win this one first.
Fabiano up a game with his Blood Red Delver Blade deck. Kurpaska back against the wall. We take a look at his sideboard. He's got 4 copies of Aether Sword and Canonist, 4 Oblivion Rings, 2 Rest in Peace, 1 Ratchet Bomb, 1 Relic of Progenitus, 1 Umezawa Shite, and 2 copies of Cataclysm. Those are his options here. Oddly enough, Adrian, none of these options to me really feel like they're that good. How do you feel about them?
Well, he's playing against a deck that can be very fast, so a card like Oblivion Ring, not so great. Ratchet Bomb might be one of his best things, and able to kill a flipped Delver, but this is not an incredible sideboard. I think the Umezawa's Jite and the Ratchet Bomb are the 2 best weapons that he can bring in.
It's ironic, all the cards that you mentioned, Oblivion Ring, the Ratchet Bomb, heck, even Umezawa's Jite to a lesser extent, all cards that can be stifled.
Yes.
And that's actually pretty noticeable in this matchup. If you take a look at Fabiano's sideboard, a lot of 1 and 2 ofs here. 1 Relic of Progenitus, 1 Engineered Explosives, a Sword of Feast and Famine, 2 Meddling Mage, a Rest in Peace, 2 Flusterstorm, a Force of Will to go along with his 3 in his main deck, 2 Red Elemental Blast, a Submerge, its Surgical Extraction, a Swords, and a Wear Tear. Swords I think is pretty easy.
Yeah,
Wear
easy.
Tear I actually like quite a bit here.
Interesting. Tell me why you like it.
I like it. I mean, the fact that it can take care of Oblivion Ring if John does bring those in, but taking care of Aether Vial, we've seen John have mana problems every time we've watched him. So if he guns on Aether Vial, that's going to be beautiful. Also, equipment. Batterskull, Umezawa Shite, get those out of here as well. I actually like Wear Tear a lot coming in this matchup.
Yeah, I also like Engineered Explosives, and explosives that, 1, can solve the problem of multiple moms. You know, that's one of the things that we've seen John Kurpaska do in these kinds of matchups before. Get down Mother of Runes, have that first one come down, have it really make things difficult on the opponent, then have the second one come down, and it feels practically insurmountable for these decks that have swords, bolts, say Abrupt Decay from other decks. Engineered Explosives can take care of all of the moms at once, blow them all up.
Speaking of mom, she is here. Mother of Runes on turn 1 for Kurpaska. That's how he wants to get game started. If he doesn't have Aether Vial, he wants to get mom online, hope that Fabiano can't kill it. You see Fabiano's hand right now. He's going to play a Misty Rainforest and pass the turn back with the option of playing Grim Lavamancer and Swords of Plowshares, and he chooses neither. That's a touch surprising.
I'm kind of curious. I can't see all of his hand, but I'm curious where his plan's going to go. Let's find out. Maybe it's just he's worried about the card John Kurpaska just laid. There are no basic lands, so a wasteland functions as a virtual strip mine in this matchup.
2 mana. Maybe not.
This does let him also have the ability to have a island that he can search up to use with a Daze to stop a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yep. So let's see what's going to happen here. So Kurpaska just passes the turn back, so he has no spell. Fabiano plays a Tundra, and he passes the turn back. So Fabiano going for a much slower approach this game.
Yeah, now you can see that Mother of Rune doing what it usually does, which is to say, nothing. She only steps in when it's necessary.
Yep.
You kids have a good time. Yeah. Hey, that's too rough.
Doing next to nothing. Kurpaska passing the turn back here. Gonna try to wasteland. I smell a stifle.
Stifle. Yeah. A nice timing of that could have been during the upkeep. Was that when it was done, or was it done on Kurpaska's own turn?
Looks like it may have been an upkeep stifle. Can't really tell.
He might be trying to get some mana down so that Gerard can't just hard cast a Daze.
Yep.
2 mana.
Phyrexian Revoker. Fabiano gonna consider some options here. Gonna respond with Misty Rainforest sack.
Gerard, he's gonna check. Does that affect lands? No, it does not. Gerard gets a Volcanic Island. Tundra and Volcanic.
Maybe I'd be surprised if we saw a Lightning Bolt here. Maybe a Daze, anything of that nature. Just a brainstorm to start.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe he's trying to decide if that's a spell that he wants to actually get rid of if he's got the Daze, or maybe he's hunting for a Daze.
You see Wasteland, Volcanic Island, and Swords of Plowshares are the cards drawn here for Fabiano. He's going to put 2 cards back. And is he going to go Dazing? Because Kurpaska looks like he's ready to have that Dazed.
It resolves.
Yep. All right. We'll see what it's naming in just a moment. We'll get confirmation for you guys.
You can see his Swords to Plowshares ×2.
Yep.
He lays a Volcanic Island. And Grim Lavamancer, the card named by John Kurpaska, an excellent choice.
It's a really, really good name. Delver of Secrets shows up. Now Grim Lavamancer shows up. Fabiano with the Swords of Plowshares left. He also has a Stoneforge Mystic in his hand as well. He's taking a much different approach this game than we saw in the previous one.
A cool thing about a deck with Grim Lavamancer, you can turn into a kind of quasi-control deck. Just shoot this, shoot that.
Yep. He just needs to get rid of that Revoker first, and in turn that means he needs to get rid of Mother of Runes first. But Fabiano does have a lot of removal. Alright, so there goes the Delver. Here's a Thalia.
Let's choke off your options a little bit more, Gerard. That's what John wants to say right now.
Kind of stinks from him. You see Gerard staring at a Stifle and a couple other cards. In comes the Revoker. Yep.
1/1 in front of a 2/1.
Grim Lavamancer just going to block immediately.
And I think that Mom is going to say, okay.
Yeah, this is interesting here because now it's Fabiano's putting him to the test. If you activate Mother of Runes to give him protection from red, I can be a firing squad with swords here, swords there. He can kill a bunch of creatures.
He says
Right.
okay.
Revoker's going to trade for a Lavamancer that it had locked down.
Good call, John, I think there.
I think he's realizing that Thalia is much more important than the Revoker at this point. Because Revoker did its job. It took care of Grimlavamancer. It took care of the 1/1 version of it and made it so it couldn't activate. So I actually like that play there.
Yeah, we're going to see, I believe Gerard has moved to Stoneforge Mystic. There it is to the front. Now it's in play. He's going to search out. One of his possible equipment is an Umezawa's Jite, the other a Batterskull. I don't believe we'll see a sideboarded sort of Feast and Famine, but most likely Jite or Batterskull.
Interesting to see which equipment he searches up here, because the Batterskull and the Jite can both be kind of colded by Mother of Runes. So, I mean, I think the Batterskull is the better of the two in this situation. Of course, if Jite gets active at any point, the game is basically going to end for Kurpaska. But Fabiano's going to go with Batterskull. He's going to show the Batterskull. I think he's going to play the Wasteland. He's just going to pass the turn back.
Okay. You can see Thalia and Mother. That Mother just sitting there this whole time. But even by sitting there, changing the tenor of this entire game.
Yeah. So Croc is going to add a white. Now Croc is going to come into play. 4 mana. Is this a Cataclysm? This is a sword.
Wow.
Okay, and it's going to cost 1 more because of the Thalia.
Sword of Fire and Ice. 3 + 1 for the Thalia is 4.
Fabiano have anything for this?
Frown Town. He's got a frown.
All right, in we go. Thalia, 2/1 first strike, beats Stoneforge Mystic in a fight. Gonna get in for 2. Fabiano doesn't look thrilled. He's gonna draw a card, Stoneforge Mystic number 2.
If Fabiano spends all 4 of his mana, he can do the combination of Stifle plus Swords to Plowshares. So maybe he'll wait until the activation of a Swords.
Yeah. 1. Play another Flagstones. That Flagstone's going to bite the dust. Let Kurpaska search out of Plains, which is what he's going to do. So he does have a white mana floating.
A new interaction now. Previously, the double Flagstones would have had both Flagstones go away. Now, John Kurpaska can choose a Flagstone to keep.
So here's 3 mana for Kurpaska. He's going to play a Mirran Crusader, so that's his last card. Fabiano's going to take a look at that. Pro-green, pro-black is what it starts with, and Mother Runes can help out and give it the rest of them. So Kurpaska does not have the ability to equip right now, but Fabiano actually gets the luxury of sliding in a Batterskull and having a Germ Token come under that, so he's going to be able to sneak in a 4/4 and be able to dodge a Sword of Fire and Ice hit, but he cannot attack with that Batterskull because Mirran Crusader will just get in the way, double strike down that black token.
That Mirran Crusader all day has been showing its worth, and it pretty much has to do. That Stoneforge Mystic is attached to a germ. It's got a cold, I guess. Here we go. Back to Gerard Fabiano. 4 land in play. Looking over the board, a large number of potential problems for him. Mother of Runes and Thalia are the big ones, but you know what? Pro-black makes Mirran Crusader also an issue.
Fabiano realizes the pro-black, realizes the double strike, knows what the exchange will be, just passes the turn back. Is it time to equip? All right, Mirran Crusader.
A big Crusader could come on in here and do a lot of damage. I think Gerard has a plan, though.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that play that we saw a little bit earlier in the last game. A Swords to Plowshares, you're a Crusader, you try to Mother of Runes to give it protection from white, and I say Stifle.
And Gerard's like, maybe I'll wait till the combat? Is that what he's thinking about? The creature's equipped right now. Swords to Plowshares can kill it any old time. It's not pro-white. It's just pro-green, pro-black, and maybe pro-red, pro-blue.
Yep. Everything but pro-white, oddly enough. Yeah, the equip is still on the stack.
The life gain is a thing that is a part of the consideration. If the Mirran Crusader is a 4/4, that might mean 1 more or 2 more swings later on in the game.
Yeah. So will the equip resolve? All right, the equip does resolve. Into the red zone comes the Crusader. Block with a Stoneforge Mystic.
Now this is a useful thing here. Mother of Runes. I'm guessing they're going to have the activation before the damage, but it means that the block is there if in case anything goes wrong.
Yeah, that's a good block. I like that block a lot. Fabiano ready to fire. Ready to make that Swords to Plowshare Stifle play again. Will Kurpaska make a move?
He's
He says
passing
that's
it back.
fine.
Gerard now with priority says, swords that guy. This guy? That guy.
That guy. Will Kurpaska move with Mother of Runes?
You know, he remembers the stifle from the last game. There's the 2 mana.
I'd like to think so.
He's probably playing through his head, what happens with the stifle? Well, the stifle will be there at some point in the future. It's not going to go away.
Yep, this is a dream scenario for Fabiano because he gets to do the same thing that he did last game, which is take care of a problematic creature, but more importantly, Mother of Runes, you are tapped, the shields are down, and you see that other Swords of Plowshares in Fabiano's hand, so you got to believe he's going to fire that off next turn. He's also got a Stoneforge Mystic as well, but most importantly, he's got a Batter Skull. It's ready to attack, and that Mom is probably going to be out of the way in a minute.
Gerard helpfully tells him, hey man, you get to untap that Sword of Fire and Ice. It's not really tapped. Okay, untap. Mom said, you know, you guys play fair now.
He's got a Lightning Bolt too.
Oh my god, all the creatures.
Yeah. This one, wow.
Is the Karakas untapped? I can't see
It's
John
not.
Kurpaska's
It's
land.
not. He's tapped out.
Oh boy, that's everybody. Swords to Plowshares on the Thalia. We're going to see a Lightning Bolt on the Mother of Runes, and the Wasteland is available should Gerard want to get rid of that Karakas.
Clear the Mother via the Bolt.
Oh, look at John.
Saying,
what happened to my game?
My entire board is gone. Come on, Wasteland your Karakas. Get that out of here, too. How about Batter Skull? How about Stoneforge Mystic? You want to talk about turning a corner?
Woo!
That's exactly what Fabiano just did. He is in the driver's seat, up a game, and probably feeling pretty good about game number 2 here against Kurpaska. Kurpaska has a Sword of Fire Ice and nothing else, but he does draw a card, and it's a Serra Avenger.
Avenger's no slouch, but that is a big germ out there. It's a lot of life, though. John Kurpaska has some time. 23 life.
It's Fabiano draw here. Misty Rainforest go along with the Stoneforge.
Stoneforge in this matchup can represent an Umezawa's Jite, and as you said earlier, Cedric, if a Jite gets on the line, that can just spell the doom for Kurpaska.
Yeah. So in comes the Germ Token. Fabiano going to gain some life. Kurpaska going to take some damage here, but he's threatening a Serra Avenger that can become a 5/5 with Pro Red and Pro Black, Flying and Vigilance. So it's actually a pretty tough Serra Avenger, assuming that Fabiano left in the Umezawa's Jite. I'm assuming, as he's going to cast a Stoneforge Mystic, he's going to go searching his deck.
Okay, doesn't take too long to find it. There it is. And as you said, a 5/5 Serra Avenger, if it's wielding that Sword of Fire and Ice, it can actually do a very interesting race with that Batter Skull. Sword of Fire and Ice, if you strike a player with it, you'll do 2 damage to a target of your choice and draw a card.
Yep.
That's actually really significant.
It can actually end up turning this game around here for Kurpaska. So, he draws a Rashadan Port for the turn. He's going to play the Port. He's going to go equipping.
Let's see what happens after this swing. What he fears here is a Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah. And Fabiano says the equip resolves, and Kurpaska, you may attack, and that's what he's going to do. In for 5 plus a sword trigger. See where the sword triggers are going to go. Draw a card, and what do you want to deal 2 damage to?
Underneath that Sword of Fire and Ice is a Serra Avenger. It's hiding behind that sword. Remember, Serra Avenger, 3/3 Flying Vigilance, really good creature. A Germ cannot get through that Serra Avenger without some help. He's got to make a decision about where he's going to redirect that damage if Gerard lets it hit him. Gerard fetches, finds a Tundra. Looks like he's putting that Umezawa's Jite in play. We're going to see as soon as there we go. We now find out the Umezawa's Jite that was put into play. The Stoneforge Mystic who did it died to that Sword of Fire and Ice. Afterwards, Kurpaska, he tries.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
That's a big daze.
That is a really good daze.
That's a really good daze by Fabiano.
Order of operations. We'll see if that ends up costing anything.
All right, Gerard. Draw a card, Meddling Mage. I wonder what kind of effect that card has in the game.
Wow. That's a really exciting spell to see. And that's the real Meddling Mage, not the newfangled Meddling Mage. Also, kids, get off my lawn.
Yeah, okay. Good to know. Uzawashite looks like he's going to suit up on a Germ token. The obvious, equip here. In comes the Germ. Do you dare block, Mr. Kurpaska? The answer is no, so 2 counters onto the Jite. It's going to work its way over to that Sarah Avenger.
The possibilities for Kurpaska here with regards to that Umezawa's Jite, these are not the grand old days where he could lay his own Jite to stop it. He's going to have to use a Phyrexian Revoker. If he boarded in an Oblivion Ring, that would be a possible way to deal with a Jite. But he's got to actually do it as Wizards apparently intends, the fair way.
Yeah. We use fair in quotes. Fair. That's what it is.
I have to say, reminiscing back to Pro Tour Philadelphia, I wonder what it would have been like with Legend rules that we have now. Anyway.
I hadn't even considered that. That would have been insane.
Okay, in comes the Avenger.
All right, Sword Trigger again. Get that Stoneforge out of here.
Let's
Give
get
me
a card
brand
draw.
new card.
Anything useful? One,
That's a
2,
bunch of
3,
mana.
4,
What
5.
is
What do you
this?
got? Ow!
Batterskull of his own.
That's pretty solid.
All right.
Okay, without any help, that Batterskull on his side is a 4/4.
Yep.
Gerard's has some help though. It
Yeah.
can become an 8/8.
Yeah. So Gerard's Batterskull currently better.
He's like, you know what? I like to have the equipment on top. How about we do that?
All right, Fabiano gonna untap. He's gonna draw. See what he finds.
The card draw that Kurpaska's been getting off of that Sword of Fire and Ice can't be overlooked here. It's been
Yeah.
incredible for him, giving him tons of fuel.
Brainstorm.
Oh, it's a good one.
Certainly a good start to the turn.
Speaking of fuel,
Meddling Mage and Brainstorm in hand. I'm a little surprised to see Fabiano board in Meddling Mage in this matchup because I have no idea what to name. And it feels like he may feel the same way. Of course, you know, the Meddling Mage would just get shot down by the Sword of Fire and Ice right now anyway. But, I mean, it's very difficult to choose a card to name in this matchup. As Fabiano's going to draw a bunch of cards. Among them is an Engineered Explosives.
ouch. He does have 3 colors. If he chose, he could bring an Engineered Explosives for 3 to the party.
Yeah, 3 is going to blow up the Sword of Fire and Ice, 2 is going to blow up the Sarah Avenger, but it's going to blow up his own Umezawa's Jite, and 0 will blow up the Germ tokens on each side. So varying numbers that this can go for. I think the best one is 3 because the Sword of Fire and Ice is, I think, that's causing him the most problems right now.
I mean, essentially, John Kurpaska has been operating with a personal Howling Mine.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard one to mess with. I mean, you want to get rid of that the same way that a Dark Confidant is a very, very dangerous card to let stay on the table.
So Fabiano taps that. He says, all right, I'm going to attack. Double block immediately.
Wow. And
That's
he
a
is
5.
tapped out.
So that's a 5/5 and a 4/4. So that's 9 that Gerard has to get through.
I mean, Gerard can just pump it all the way up, and after combat, finish off whatever he didn't kill.
Yeah, and Gerard's seeing if there's a way that one of his guys can live through this. And I don't think... He's trying to figure out if this guy can live right now through this. I don't think that's the case. But he can give his Batterskull token +2/+2 twice, make it an 8/8. Umezawa Jite triggers, you get 2 more counters, then you can finish off what's left.
Well, I wonder if John Kurpaska views this as a Batterskull war now, and he sees himself having the mana advantage. I mean, maybe that's the decision he's going to here. I don't know that I would go that direction, but trying to come up with a way to understand this.
That was an immediate double block.
Yeah, he thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, he knew that he wanted to do this coming into the attack, and he knew he wanted to do that even if a Brainstorm resolved. Like, what if Fabiano just has a Swords to Plowshares? He absolutely ruins them. Maybe he can't beat swords anyway in this situation, however.
So Fabiano has a dead Germ. The other germ on the other side of the table has taken nearly enough to kill it, and there's the Umezawa's Jite, the final minus. When the Gerard did this, he went +2/+2 twice, nearly killed everything, and then after the damage, gets 2 more counters and finishes it off with a -1/-1. Clear table. And remember, as Cedric said, John, snap double block. And now, here's Chris Pikula, Meddling Mage in play.
What to name for Mr. Fabiano? A difficult decision indeed.
I could see Swords to Plowshares, I could see Batterskull.
I don't have the slightest idea what you name here. He's gonna name Swords to Plowshares, okay. He's gonna pass the turn back to Kurpaska.
Will John Kurpaska regret that double block? Look at the life totals here. Kurpaska at a healthy 19, but you know what? That Batterskull has Gerard at an even healthier 27.
Yeah.
A lot of time left in this match.
Yeah, Umezawa's Jite representing 2 more life, so Fabiano could go to a virtual 29 if he needs to. See if Kurpaska has something to play this turn. Oddly enough, one of the better cards, one of his haymakers, Cataclysm, pretty poor right now. We leave Fabiano sitting pretty well, actually.
One of the cards that might be what he's hoping to have right now would be a Phyrexian Revoker. The Sword of Fire and Ice would give it Pro Blue from that Meddling Mage, and the Revoker could make the Umezawa's Jite not have any use, at least for the now.
All right, pass back is what Kurpaska's going to do. So Fabiano, I think he gets to untap. I think as he stares at Engineered, and as he stares at an Engineered Explosives, he does. He's going to get to draw a card.
Oh, are there a take backsies? What's going on? Upkeep effects? Upkeep effects. John might be announcing an upkeep effect.
Okay,
Rishad and Port. There we
Okay.
go. That's fair. Take that, Volcanic Island.
Maybe a Wasteland too. Cut the red sources, at least try his best to.
Yeah, I mean, if he cut off the red sources, the Meddling Mage has named Swords to Plowshares. That includes Gerard's Swords to Plowshares.
Equip onto the Umezawa's Jite is what's going to happen. In we go to the red zone.
And Gerard does just 2 and ups his counters on the Umezawa's Jite to 3, saving it for some later threat, like, for example, a Sarah Avenger.
So it looks like Kurpaska's going to pick up his Batterskull. Sounds good to me. Untap all 6 of those lands, among them a Wasteland, a Rishad Port, a Flagstones, a Trocare, and 3 plains. Going to play another port, Will Kurpaska. We'll probably see him recast this Batterskull here, and then equip Sword of Fire and Ice.
7 mana, so even if there's a Spell Pierce, not that I like that card very much in this matchup, but even if there's a Spell Pierce, he's safe from it.
So here comes your 5. There is your Batterskull. Living Weapon trigger, resolves, germ. How about we equip this sword? The answer is yes.
And that makes this germ Pro Blue. Now, Umezawa's Jite itself can still shrink the germ, but Meddling Mage can't damage the germ to get more Umezawa's Jite counters.
Yep. So Fabiano's plan was going to be to equip the Batterskull over to the Meddling Mage. It's not going to work the way that he wants it to, as you mentioned, because the sword does give Pro Blue. And of course, Fabiano has named Swords to Plowshares with his Meddling Mage, so if he draws one of those, can't cast it, unless he's going to draw his card for the turn.
This has been a really interesting game. I mean, that Meddling Mage, I wonder if he's going to rue the day, but remember, in his hand, there it is, EE, Engineered Explosives.
For 0.
Take that, Germ.
Question, do you think doing it for 0 is better or worse than doing it for 3 in this situation?
I like the 0 right now, partly because at this point you see Gerard bring it down to pump up for 4. That leaves him with 4 counters on the Umezawa's Jite after the combat. Once the Batterskull gets picked up and put back down, before it could even get any bigger, he could be offed by the Jite.
Okay. So Fabiano's Jite is sitting at 4 counters, representing currently 8 points of damage with 4+2/+2 activations. With the Mage, that would make it 10. With the Batterskull, that would make it exactly 14. You see Kurpaska's life total. He's sitting at 13. Does he have a creature to get in the way momentarily?
And John Kurpaska trying to figure out a way from this danger. You can see Owen Turtenwald looking over his shoulder in the background. He's been here all weekend as well, playing his heart out, hanging out with his friends, including William Jensen, also known as Huey. John Kurpaska, though, concerned about what's in front of him, not what's behind him.
What can he do? Hands through hair, never a good situation to be in. Don't know if he has a relevant follow-up or not.
I mean, he set up this situation to be in a Batterskull race, and it looks like it has come to bite him.
Yeah, this is what he wanted. You know, he wanted to be in this situation with that double block with the Batterskull and the Sarah Avenger when it was equipped to a sword of fire and ice. And he's just going to pass the turn back. That is surprising. You're going to see Rashad and Port activation. Going to tap both of the white sources for Fabiano. He's going to leave him with a Tundra and 2 volcanic islands. A bunch of pumps are going to take place here for Fabiano on that meddling mage.
All in, he says.
Yep.
And it's worth noting. Oh, and look at that, a wasteland. Nice.
There's a lightning bolt. Is that going to be lead? That's going to be exactly it. Gerard Fabiano wins the match, defeats Death in Taxes, and is your Star City Games New Jersey Legacy Open champion.
You know, I cannot think of a better champion for New Jersey than Gerard Fabiano.
Better believe it, the hometown
Oh my
killer.
God.
He's going to win it.
That's
Blue,
awesome.
white, red, Delver Blade. Listen to this. Eric Smith plays it in the